Hello gamers and welcome to another one of these videos. So I tend to do these recommendation ones for GSSRs, but this is kind of a big one too that a lot of people are hyped about, so let's do it. I'm of course talking about the next SR or 4-star selector for NA, and this is a big one because this has permanents, story locks, and limited servants. The only ones that are excluded, we'll get to those in a second. There's not many, but it's basically the latest ones from this year. But yeah, this will go live tomorrow. I'm going to try and get this video out a day before as I am recording this. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Now keep in mind, this will be brutal. You will maybe not like what you're about to see, because I am going to be rating them purely based on gameplay, okay? So before I even talk anything else, I just want to say, if there is a servant you just really like especially if they are a favorite for you, just pick them. That's the best choice you can do. I cannot emphasize that enough. Pick your favorite first and foremost. This video is only for those that are looking to get more bang for their buck in terms of gameplay value for their account, okay? So go with your heart first and foremost. So yeah, we got a lot of other freebies as well besides the ticket, like some quartz and whatnot, but this video is talking about the selector itself. Now firstly, I just want to mention this is really important. It's going to be hard for you to miss this, but when you claim the servant, they don't actually permanently join your roster immediately, unless you're picking like an MP level that you immediately use, then fine. But if it's a new servant, make sure you fulfill the requirements to keep the servant permanently first and foremost, okay? Because you have like 20 days to do that. So make sure they have ascended at least once, okay? So in terms of a 4-star servant, that means getting them up to level 40 and then ascending them once. Obviously, this is very easy to do, but do not forget to do this. And the other thing is get them to at least bond 3 or higher, which is also very easy to do. Just bring them along in some party, even if they're level 1, just put them in the back. Just make sure you do these or you will lose your servant after September is over, and that will be a very rude awakening. Now, as I mentioned, every 4-star in the game is available with the exception of these 2025 servants. So Summer Bargus, Summer Suzuka, Locusta, Doryudana, Summer Kuro, Summer Sith, and Tlaloc won't be available for pickups for those who are looking for those. So with that out of the way, let's get to the selector. So I thought of ways of how I want to present this, but I went with a tier list actually. As you can see, it's brutal. Because again, I'm trying to be as honest as I can with, servants that will actually make an impact. So most of these servants I would put in the bottom tier, which I translated to I would not consider, okay? They either have better options, alternates, they're like permanents that are very easily accessible, or just some other reasons that they just don't really make a big enough oomph compared to some others that I would not really consider them. Now the next tier I call niche but nice. They're servants that are not always relevant, but sometimes they can actually be very nice. The second highest tier I call great for the role, which means the servant is actually very exceptional at what they are supposed to do, be it like AoE DPSing, single target DPSing, being an anchor, or stuff like that. That they can actually even rival some higher rarity servants even. And then the top tier is for the true standouts, the top tier 4 stars, or just 4 stars in general that are really good to have on any account, because they might actually have many use cases. So yeah, that's how it goes. So I'm not really going to talk about the bottom tiers at all. There might be some I snubbed. Okay, do leave comments down below in case you want to make arguments for some of these. I could see some maybe being moved up as well there to some of the tiers, but again, I considered these and this is what I came up with. So I'm not going to talk about the most of the servants at all on this video, because otherwise this would be like 2 hours long. So I'm only going to talk briefly about the 3 tiers up here, starting with the niche but nice. So we have Lanling. He's an arts crit support, which again, that in and of it by itself is a bit niche, but he's certainly very good, and also accounting for future buffs. Once he gets his next skill buff, it is very solid and he becomes very usable. So if that interests you, I would highly recommend considering that. Lakshmi Bai, very similar. She is also kind of like this crit support that offers some utility for the team as well. She's not tied to a card type per se. She is quick-based herself, but she can be used in a wide variety of teams. Also, like Lanling offers some team buff success rate up as well. Martha is in an interesting spot right now. I might honestly I'm tempted to even move her up, but I'll keep her here for now. She has a lot of great things going for her. buff strip, defense down, party wide cleanse, heal. She can give party dragon damage modifiers. She can MP a bit easier now for more defense down. She's just kind of nice to have, honestly. So yeah, I honestly consider this, and I think she makes sense to be up here. Helena, I hesitated. She's mostly up here because I would say for newer accounts she could be pretty good if you're lacking a lot of other supports. But otherwise, she barely made the cut. Honestly, I could still see her being down in the wouldn't consider tier. But I think for at least newer accounts, she's not honestly that bad. Same with Nidocris, especially for newer accounts. She's very self-sustainable, big battery, can be used for some instant kill farming as well in some cases. So can't really go wrong with her. Although I feel like older accounts might not get insane value from her, but newer accounts, much like Helena, can benefit. Steno, yes, I actually included Steno. I also hesitated on this one, but yeah, with her recent buff and the fact that she gives a lot of attack for divine allies, she actually makes for a decent divine support. I'm not even joking. As crazy as it is, I actually recommend Steno over everyone else down here. Yeah, I know, this is crazy, but it is what it is. Summer Wu, very great. I honestly, I had her higher at first, but I moved her down a bit, but she is just nice to have. Party-wide battery, can apply undead, do some stuns, just a nice servant in general. Very packed for a 4-star in particular, very good modern 4-star servant. So can work for newer or older accounts. And then we have the combo of Edison and Miyu. They're both kind of similar. Edison is more skill-based, whereas Miyu is full-on do or die with her MP. Her skills are still pretty unfortunate. But if you can get the Miyu MP train rolling, it is actually very strong, especially in stall comps. She can actually provide you a lot of support. And again, Edison is a bit easier to use because he's more skill-based than MP-based. Granted, his skills won't be as crazy as, you know, a lot of Miyu MP stacked together. But yeah, both can be very nice as support options. Then we have the Great for All, starting with Summersay. She's just a very solid single target Berserker DPS. Her MP might not be super impressive, it's a bit niche with the power mods, but she has very solid crit potential at least, and her being a Berserker makes her very versatile. Herc, still a very solid anchor. Anchors, as we discussed in the tier list this year, may or may not be that needed anymore these days, depending on how your account looks like. But if you ever need an anchor, granted you're willing to farm the bond CE, he's always the good old reliable. Saber Alter just can do some ridiculous farming as a 4-star because of the buff they gave her, meaning that she can even Black Rail loop as a Buster Servant, which is a very rare treat, putting up some very decent numbers. So if you need more farmers, she's not bad at all. Sith, after the MP buff, is just ridiculous. She actually rivals a lot of 5-star archers as well. Just very great raw damage with some solid defense on top. Anastasia, also very easy to use. I hesitated on putting her up here because we have a lot of single target archers here. Some for other reasons, but yeah, I still put her up here. I think she's a very solid single target arts, DPS, easy to use with support. Just brain dead, mash your MP, you're gonna be good. Fujito, a bit harder to use, but also very, very solid to this day. Very durable, can hit hard. MP, sometimes a bit weaker, but with the buff, and even without the niche active, she can still do some decent damage. Also can do some solos. Kairon, just very solid. Provide some decent support for your team as well, but especially as a DPS, he's highly underrated. Against any Earth enemy, he can actually do really high MP damage, so I would definitely never sleep on him. Hot Wheels, great crits, just very good deck, synergizes well with many supports that are really big in this game, like Summer, Scotty, Koyan, you name it. Just a very solid single target DPS all around. Umu has seen so much love for this game. They really wanted to make sure she is actually very good, and she is very good. Truly a solid 4-star servant. I was even considering putting her in the standout / great to have tier, but I hesitated a bit and left her here. But yeah, it's just a very good DPS. It can even do some really impressive solos. Farming is still a bit wonky, but still a bit doable if you really want to go down that route. So she can kind of just do a lot of things. This will make a lot of people mad, but I only picked one single target Saber here, and I picked Yagyu. I do think the MP buff actually makes the difference, that he is the best of all of the options in the same category among the 4-stars. So yeah, I know some people will be mad about that, but I will stand by that. Hephaestion, another one of those newer account picks. For older accounts, maybe not the best value, but for newer accounts, insane value pack. Not only can she just be a solid DPS or even a bit of multi-core against any Knight class enemies, she even has the anti-caster skill, giving her even more coverage as a pretender. So especially for newer accounts, she could be considered a good single target DPS option. Cersei is a wild one. I actually hesitated on this as well. Take a shot every time I say that, but yeah, I actually put her up here mostly because of the recent buff. This is only factoring in future buffs. In the current state, I would not consider it, but the only reason I did put her here is because, one, single target casters, there's not a ton of options, even if you could include potential alter egos and whatnot, and two, the new buff actually makes her interesting in multi-core. It's a very solid AoE skill now, so I do think she actually kind of makes sense to be here now. And Summer Murasaki is just really strong, a very standout single target rider. The only reason I probably won't put her into standout is because we also have some other options. There's a lot of good single target riders in the game, including a welfare in Cinderella Liz, but I still think after the MP buff, which is weird that she got it, she's just very good. Arguably a standout / great to have. And then on that topic, let's talk about the toppest of the tiers. Here we have all the best ones in my opinion. Starting with the first three, they're very interchangeable in a lot of cases. We have Creamhild, Luvia / Estrella, and Summer Eris. All very universal single target arch DPSs. They all have their strengths compared to the others, but every single one of them is just fantastic. Just super strong damage potential, super spammable MPs. Some have nice utility on top as well. So you can't really go wrong with any of them. I feel like for the most, if you have a Castoria, Creamhild might be the most enticing one, but again, they're all just super solid. So pick whichever you fancy the most. Honestly, there you can't go. They rival a lot of the 5 stars in this game as well. It's just super strong. Then we have the other options here. Calamity Jane is amazing. I think every account should honestly have a Calamity Jane. Targeted Invul Pierce is still to this day rare, and that's just one thing that she does. Debuffs, other buffs, just super solid as a 4-star. I can't believe the kit after the buff state is actually on a 4-star, but it is, yeah. Calamity Jane is super strong. Every account should have a copy. She would honestly maybe be my #1 recommendation in this whole ticket. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but if you don't have a Jane, I would highly recommend considering her. And again, this is factoring future buffs. I don't think NA has the buff one of the buffs that's missing still. I could be wrong. I'm not always up to date with NA buffs, but yeah, once she has all the buffs that she has on JP, she's just top tier. Wu is very interesting. Arguably someone every account should have. Not only is she a great support, she has good debuffs, good buffs for your team, a bit of gauge as well. She's honestly a very capable single target DPS among assassins as well. And especially for non-5 stars, there's not a whole lot of amazing DPSs among the assassin class. So that's the reason I really put her up here. She's not like the best support or DPS, but she's just really good in both. So you get a nice value package. So I think Wu definitely should be up here. And then Caster Gilgamesh, just arguably someone every account should have. Granted, there are a lot of arch supports, so if you're really stacked up on that front, you might not need him. But having that much battery in his kit, a lot of spread buffs as well, just makes him a real standout as a 4-star in my opinion. He has aged pretty well. Just simple mechanics, but just good numbers and good effects. So there you go. There's a quick talk among the options that I would consider gameplay-wise. Again, if you have favorites, even if they're down here, they would immediately be, the best option. So I would still highly recommend picking favorites over gameplay, but I know a lot of you guys like me yapping about gameplay, so there you go. The top 3 tiers are the ones I would actually consider, depending on what you need, how your account looks like, all that good jazz. I don't know how long this video ends up being. I'll probably do some cuts here and there. But yeah, there's my 3,000 days anniversary SR Selector guide. That's a mouthful and a half. Again, leave comments down below because there's, there's a chance I snubbed someone. I was not spending a ton of time with this because I wanted to make sure I get this video out on time. So I'm always willing to hear opinions of other people as well. Or if you think maybe I overrated someone, that's also very valid. This is just my opinion after all. Nothing in here is truly objective, you guys should know that. And if you enjoyed this video, hey, do me a solid and press the thumbs up button on it, okay? It really helps out. And subscribe not to miss out on future videos. I will be covering the JP update tomorrow regarding a certain grand event, if you catch my drift. So expect to see hopefully another video tomorrow as well. A short highlight, if you will, like I've been doing in the previous mods. And shout out to my patrons on the screen right now, and Suit for being a big YouTube tier member supporter. And otherwise, have a great week ahead, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.